Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Hilltop Pillbox in Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. And today we have relocated to Nerd Haven Games here in Abbotsford, and they've been able to open up their room for gamers. And there's only myself and Colton today who will be playing Little War at Sea. And Colton is using his British fleet, so he's got some pretty heavy-duty stuff going on here. Got the Rodneys, got the Ark Royal, the Repulse, got some heavy hitters, as well as some submarines. And as you know, or you may not know, but as subs deploy a little further out to start the game, typically because they only move one at a time. We have our objectives out here, and we've decided that they're going to be worth 25 points each. This is a 200-point game that we're playing, so we didn't want them to be an all or nothing something, but they will certainly, you can sacrifice a ship or two to get an objective, and it's probably worth it. Here are my subs, my Archer Fish, which are okay, but not quite as decent in my mind as the British subs. We'll see if they turn up today. And here we got the Yorktown, and it's got a, what do I put on there? An Avenger and an F4. Woohoo! And got the USS Washington, big battleship. And then I've got some destroyers. I've got the San Francisco and the Boise, and then some Samuel B. Roberts destroyers to hopefully take care of those subs before they do too much damage. And if you're not familiar with the way we play this, I know if you just play out a box here, you play on the square system, where you just move one square, two square, and you fire two squares and whatnot. We use a measurement system, and so 4 inches is considered range of 0, and then 4 to 8 is range of 1, 8 to 12 is range of 2, and on you go. And so we figure that out, roll mittfuls of dice, and destroy lots of the enemy. But we'll let you know how the first round goes here, Axis and Allies War at Sea, in just a moment. And first blood goes to the British as they landed a hit on one of my subs here. That was Swordfish, right? Swordfish, yeah. Swordfish. Depth charged me and got one. The rest of the action, though, is pretty minimal. The other Swordfish was sent packing, and my Mitchell bomber didn't get a shot off. So that's pretty much it. Nothing else going on here. Just getting closer, though. We're going to start shooting in just a little while. And there's no mercy on the high seas or under them, as the sub has been destroyed. But his dying shot, he was able to exact some small measure of revenge. So 2 of the subs have been removed now, but also a sad fate for the Avenger, as the Avenger was shot down by a sea hurricane, I believe, as he was just flying around, not bothering anybody. But what can you do? He got hit and knocked out. He even has that neat, where is it now? Oh, there's. It's got a neat thing on it that it's rugged, so when you get destroyed, because he got exactly 8 hits on me, roll a die. On a 4, 5, or 6, you're still alive. And of course I rolled a 1. So there you go. My battleship took a hit from a submarine at extreme range here, but he still nailed it. So I now am outdistanced by his battleship, so that's not good. He still has all of his aircraft too, so this is starting to slide a little bit British. Got to get all my little fleet of destroyers going here, get them into the fight. See what happens on round 3. Stay tuned. Round 3, and where are we? Well, lots and lots of fun stuff happening, called driving your ships forward. But we have some damages happening. We did lose a sub here on the British side. Didn't shed a tear. And he didn't shed a tear for putting 2 torpedoes from the same sub into my battleship. So we're 3 of 5 right now. 2 more hits and we are done for. So really looking like a tall order here for all these little boats. So we're going to have to see if we can't grab some objectives or something, because I don't think we're going to win the shooting war at this point. Yeah, my bomber missed your carrier. Just going to come on over and show you this here. So we had a neat little stack up here, so I put the bomber here to come after his carrier, so he put his Sea Hurricane to go after my bomber, and then I put my Wildcat to go after a Sea Hurricane. And he has initiative, so he got to shoot at my bomber but missed. And then I got to shoot at his Hurricane, and it was just aborted, wasn't killed or anything, so it didn't really affect much. And his carrier couldn't shoot down my bomber either. And the anti-air from these ships is too far away to help out right now, so it was kind of on its own. The Rodney only moved one last turn because it's old. It's got to roll. It's got a slow one, so you have to roll. And if he doesn't roll a 4, 5, or 6, I think he moved.
On a 1, I think.
Is it just then he just moves 1? What's the roll?
Yeah, on a roll of 1.
On a roll
Less
of 1.
Speed, yeah.
Oh, okay. So he had to roll a 1, and he did. This die is from a different thing, but yeah. So he only got to roll 1. So, but he still had some fun. But his big guns were a little anemic this round. Didn't they splashed stuff all around, but didn't hit anything. So, all right. Well, my little swarm of destroyers is coming. We're getting a little closer. That could be bad news for me. not going to fare well against these bad boys, but we'll see what happens here on turn 4. Oh, the Squall. I was going to mention the Squall here. This Squall I picked up on Historical Board Game. It's a Litco acrylic, and we're just going to have it move around the board in the white, just little range effect that you cannot shoot through it. And if you are in it, people can only hit you with a 6 or a 5 unless they're in it as well, and they can only hit you on a 6. And is it the Belfast?
The Belfast, yes.
The Belfast, which is this boat here heading towards the Squall, which may not be there in a minute, but it is has concealment, which means it's kind of like cover if you play other games with land minis. It's kind of like having cover, so he's very tough to hit in bad weather. He's kind of built for it, so. All right, well, that is it for round 3. Moving on to round 4, and we'll see what happens. Well, round 4 saw some fun action, except the planes didn't have any fun on anybody's. They all were aborted. They were all sent home with no fun, but a lot of damage got doled out once the ships got into shooting range. And you can see this is the Belfast.
Yeah.
The Belfast and the Boise both took 1 damage, and I got a damage on one of my Fletchers. Lost one, was destroyed, and the big news of the day is that I lost the Washington. Took, I think in the game, I think it was it one surface shot and 4 torpedoes?
4 torpedoes.
Yeah, so the torpedoes were really on fire here and wiped me out. I was able to kill the Repulse. Yeah, we put a couple damage on the Rodney with torpedoes. Yeah, I believe it was. And the Exeter over here has a couple damage, but he's got the objective. Now this objective here is going to stay where it is, and because the Exeter is, or the Repulse is dead, so that'll stay there. All right, so we're going to move the Squall. You can see it went over here right to where my carrier was, but we'll see where it goes in this next round, and we'll see if the Americans can exact some sort of revenge on the British. Stay tuned. And that is the end of the game, folks. The Americans have lost on points, possibly, but we haven't added up the objectives yet. So I get a 25-point swing, but I don't think that means much. I got 24, so I got 57 plus 25, so 83, 82, and you got 100 and 100 and some. So yeah, so a good victory by the British. A lucky torpedo shot right off the bat, and that was it for the Washington. It was behind and never ever was able to inflict too much damage, but you can see here the Boise was sunk by a torpedo in the last moments here, and got some damage on my other cruiser there, the San Francisco. And then we have the carriers went undamaged in this game.
Yeah.
But I sank the British submarine, but my destroyer was sunk. And the big story of this round, though, is the Exeter?
Yes.
The Exeter. The Exeter, you can see, has 2 damage, only needs 3 to die. And twice it was sunk. But because of determination, he rolls a die. If he gets a 5 or a 6, he ignores the damage. And he did that twice in this round. I sank this thing twice, and twice it just sat there, refusing to die. I got to read up on the Exeter and find out why they have that. Must have really been damaged in some battle or something.
Yeah.
The Rodney escapes with just 2 damage on it, out of the 5 hit points that it can take. And my Mitchell got shot down. Was that the Hurricane or was it the Rodney that shot it down?
I think it's the Rodney.
Yeah. Rodney's anti-air support shot down the Mitchell, so that was that. So a convincing victory by the British, and all their ships pretty much backed up this round here because they were trying to stay out of range of my torpedoes, and they did a good job doing that. But we're going to have a second round here. I'm bringing the Japanese this time. All right, thanks for watching, folks, and we'll see how the second round goes. All right, turn 1 is over, and a bit of a fur ball over here, and nobody hit. We all got sent home, and the Swordfish narrowly missed the submarine. Over here, had a little bit of success. And that's my Val dive bomber. Got 1 hit on the Belfast. And everybody else is too far away. So round 2, we will see what happens. Oh, and by the way, so I'm the Japanese, obviously. And I have 4 kamikaze. And now they're going to possibly be able to come on. What you have to do, if you're not familiar, is roll a die for each one, and if you get a 4 or higher, it can head out next turn. But whenever it heads out, it ain't coming back. So it heads out to do its thing. And it's land-based, and it's just crazy. But it's the suicide attack. The unit is destroyed at the end of the air attack phase if it isn't at the land air base. Well, basically, that means when it takes off at the end of the air attack phase, they all die. So,
Yay.
Yeah. Pretty simple rule. But for 3 points, what do you want? All right, round 2 coming up. And once again, the British have drawn first death. I'd say first blood, but I got a nick on the Exeter. So, yeah, I sank the Akatsuki with a long-distance torpedo. Snuck in there and hit him amidships and blew him up. So he is dead. All this stuff here, big fur ball again. But Val came through and got another hit. So, tough little plane. But next round is when the big guns start firing. And next round, well, this round I could have sent out 2 kamikaze, but I think I'll wait till all 4 are ready to go, and then we'll launch them. We'll see what happens on turn 3. All right, well, this was a round with a lot of disaster, and the Japanese kind of took it on the chin here. Lost this guy to a lone torpedo. We lost these 2 destroyers to heavy guns, and able to, I think, did this thing have damage from before? Or was that this round?
This round from depth charges. Right,
depth charges here from the Akatsuki, which then died. Over here, I think it had damage from round 1 or something, but
that's so?
Yeah.
That's from this round.
Man, it's been a long round. But over here, we were able to exact a small measure of revenge by sinking a cruiser worth, what, 12 points? 14 points. Look out, boys. All right. See, now, if you're wondering about the setup here, so the Yamato is now in a very bad way, and this kind of happened in the real war, so it kind of makes sense, in that I have no sub coverage. All my destroyers have been sunk, and he still has 2 subs roaming around. 3 subs roaming around, but 2 that are in range of the Yamato right now, so we're going to have to skedaddle and bring our subs over to maybe help. But there's a good chance the Yamato is not going to be uninjured for long. But none of the heavy ships, the way this is set up, can head through these islands here. So this will be taking shots through. He's already sunk everything he can shoot at. on this side, so he's got to come closer if he wants to sink and get any more points out of me.
So scary.
But we'll see what happens here on, that was turn 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so now we're on to turn 4. Was it turn 3 or was it turn 2?
It's been a long round.
It has been a long round.
I don't know.
We'll see my things. 1. No, that was just turn 2.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so now we're on to turn 3. Pretty sure.
Check the footage.
We'll check the footage. Yes, torpedoes are the bane of my existence here. Colton has sunk, I don't know, you've hit probably 10 today.
Something like that.
Torpedoes.
Yeah.
Unbelievably good rolling. But the Yamato, of course, there's no destroyer cover. What do you expect? So he took a damage, or she took a damage. I guess ships are she. This one here turned around and fired and killed my sub. I was able to kill one of the swordfish, and the other one we sent packing. So the board is getting less populated. And over here we had all of the suicidal kamikaze come rolling in, and all 4 of them evaded anti-aircraft fire and drove straight into the water and wrecked nothing. I got close, I think. I got 8 on one. Or...
Yeah, but it was the valve that did the damage.
Yes, you do see damage here, but it was the professional who got that. And all the kamikaze are dead, so that's 12 more points over to the bad guys. A long-range torpedo shot from the Japanese I-26 actually made it in here and hit the repulse. And is the Exeter? Or the
Exeter, yeah.
Exeter has been sunk. How did it get? Oh, the Yamato. Yeah, the Yamato. The Yamato.
It's 15 dice.
Peeking through, yeah, with 15 dice. Got 10 hits on it, and its armor is 9, I think. So, lots of destruction this round. Rounds are going to pick up steam, if you'll pardon the pun. Ouch. Yes. I lost both my subs to torpedo shots. I was able to take out one of his, but I no longer have subs on the board. His sub also got a hit over here. He got hits on all his torpedoes again. Tell ya, if you ever want to go to Vegas and you need to roll 6s, call Colton. So the Yamato has 2 damage on her from the torpedoes. And the big heavy guns couldn't see each other this round, so these still carry a little bit of damage. But my Val got a single hit in on the carrier, so that's kind of nice. A little bit of retribution for all the other damages that are going on. All right, moving on to round 5. Here we go. And some shocking news. He got another hit on a lone torpedo shot, so he just can back off his big ships here and just let his sub come kill me. All right, but we're moving on to turn 5 now. Or was that turn 5? Boy, we are horrible at this. I think that was turn 5.
I think so.
Yeah, so we're moving on to turn 6 now of 7. And so far...
No damage on the battleships. That round.
Yeah, the battleships both missed. I was 1 shy. I think you were...
A few.
Yeah, didn't have very good shots. So, misses as good as a mile. All right, here we are. The carnage. Everybody's taking shots, except the Rodney. I'm not shooting at the Rodney. His armor is a little too tough, so I was trying to sink the repulse here. No joy. But the heavy guns did inflict a couple more damage there on the Yamato, and he inflicted 1 damage on the repulse. And the dive bomber made it through and did 1 more damage on the carrier. But this 1 damage stuff just isn't going to fly. We got to start getting some vital hits. And ever since all my cheap stuff is gone, nobody's been getting any vital hits anymore. So no more one-shot wonders. Here we go. Last round of the game. Will the Yamato survive? 2 more hits and she's gone. Well, a fairly anticlimactic ending here in our last round, as the Yamato did the suicide run right up the gut and failed to hit anything. Well, no, I guess he hit the Rodney for 1, and then that was it. And then everybody missed shooting at the Yamato point-blank range. And the torpedo missed for the first time. And I was able to get 1 more damage on the carrier, but only 3 of 5. So that's pretty much it for the game. And if we look at the totals, you I sank 58 of the UK stuff, and he got 88 of mine. Plus, he has one of the objectives, so he would have another 25 points out of that. So another victory by the UK. And the Amato was very poorly used this game. Very poorly used. It sank one ship, but
Just beat you.
what's that?
Just beat you, and then you got a
Just
nice
beat you,
defense
yeah.
platform.
Static defense works very well. All right. Hey, thanks for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time from the Hilltop Pillbox.